we had a brisk gales and a hull of sea all the night. About 6 hours we lay with the ship's head to the northward, then wore to the southward till daylight, in which last space of time we must have passed close to a dangerous reef named in the charts Providence Reef. But as nothing of this kind was in sight before dark, we had not the apprehension of reefs lying in our way, and even when the day broke we thought we had a clear sea, and at 5 or 6 o'clock bore away and ran west-northwest about half an hour, when we discovered several islands beside those we had seen on the preceding evening, and perceived that extensive reefs surrounded every one of them. In viewing our situation from aloft, it appeared very critical, and occasionally the island had to be called Danger Island. Thus were we running directly for Danger Island, and leaving those extensive reefs upon this quarter, when the sight of many more islands gave us reason to suppose that to attempt a passage through them would be hazardous, if not impracticable. We hauled, therefore, our wind, set what sail the ship could bear, and tried to work out by the way we came in. The gale increasing, and the sea running very high, we had little hopes at first of gaining ground, or that the ship would stay in so heavy a sea. The tide likewise appeared to be in our favour, for after making a few tacks, at 9:30 a.m. we passed to windward of the southeast reef and stood towards Table Island. As we ran along we saw a large space to leeward, free from reefs, which almost tempted us to bear away. But proceeding further, the islands to the southwest appeared connected by them. All this day and the night was spent in plying to windward. At daybreak on the 13th, we bore away and ran along the north side of Sir Charles Middleton's island. There appeared no opening through the reef, but one might perhaps be found somewhere about the island if diligently sought for. But on this side there is none. From the beach to the top of the hill is one continued grove of trees, and many of them are fruitful skirts of lowland. The valleys of Middleton's island appear delightfully pleasant, and must abound in all the fruits and roots common to this part of the world. In some places we saw spots of cultivated ground, probably of carbon. Where we passed close we saw many inhabitants, and have no doubt but that they are all well peopled, and they must be an improved people in a savage state, for the natives of the Friendly Islands, who are unwilling to give place to any, acknowledge that the Fijis excel them in many ingenious works, that they possess larger cannons and are a brave fighting people, but abhor them for the detestable practice of eating their unfortunate prisoners. They use bows and arrows in war, and from the blackness of their complexion and the difference of the language and manners, they are evidently a distinct race from the natives of those groups where missions are now established. Leaving Middleton's Island, we still west but compassed 4 or 5 leagues and passed close by what we called Maitland Island. There were natives on the beach with spears in their hands, and the island, which was moderately high, seemed to abound in the common produce, but, like those we had already seen, was quite surrounded by a reef. Therefore, sailing thence west-northwest about 6 leagues farther, we came near to the east of another pretty large island called Ross's Island, where we saw vast numbers of natives assembled upon the beach and smoke among the trees, but they also were quite secure, being, like their neighbors, strongly fortified with the surrounding reef. As night approached, being surrounded with reefs and islands on all sides, we put the ship under an easy sail. At 7 o'clock, the wind was easterly and the sea as smooth as a river. We were presently alarmed by the ship striking upon a coral reef, upon which the sea hardly broke, to give the least warning. All hands were upon deck in an instant, and as she stuck fast, became under great apprehension of being shipwrecked. We knew that the Fijis were cannibals of a fierce disposition, and who had never had the least intercourse with any voyagers. Consequently, we could expect no favour from such. Imagination, quick and fertile on such occasions, figured them dancing round us while we were roasting fires. However, it was no time to indulge thoughts of this kind, but to try what could be done to save the ship.